Education allows us to broaden our worldviews and truly understand the world around us. But with the advancement of technology, education is changing, and it's changing very fast. The American education system is flawed. However, this didn't happen overnight. The education system has remained almost exactly the same for decades to come. As the world is changing and worldviews are changing, education needs to change as well. The same curriculum taught 10 years ago will differ from curriculum today. These problems include the advancement of technology and not curriculum, underappreciation for teachers and counselors, and unavailable resources to students. To begin, technology is advancing at a rapid pace while curriculum is not. With the advancement of technology, students are learning more online than in the classroom. This is a problem, as education is meant to broaden worldviews and teach individuals important lessons that will stick with them for years. The world has drastically changed in the last decade, and even the last century. Education curriculum, however, has not changed. As the world around us continues to change and advance what is being taught, studies need to change as well. The world is largely connected in a way that we never knew before it could happen. In addition, teachers, administrators, and counseling makes education and learning possible for students. However, there is a gap between teacher appreciation and respect. Teachers are not given the proper resources they need to have a successful school year while getting students set up for success. Teachers need excessive training in order to maintain stable education environments. In addition, teachers are not given the proper resources in order to prepare for situations that they are faced with on the daily. Counselors are extremely crucial to the success of schools. Specifically, counselors are crucial for high school students who are struggling with mental health. In a study, a researcher quoted, "An area of concern during adolescence is the occurrence of internalizing disorders that can occur when individuals attempt to control or regulate their internal emotional and cognitive states in ineffective ways." It is extremely important to have properly trained school counselors for students that are struggling. The American education system is failing at providing proper counselors for schools. Most school counselors are there for students to plan their life after high school. There is currently a mental health crisis in the United States that will continue to increase as technology advances. Many schools do not have the proper resources to help students who are struggling. There needs to be counselors available to converse with students about their own personal struggles. The same exact researcher quoted, "A variety of factors can enhance resilience, including realistic, positive sense of self, the ability for self-regulation, healthy attachments with family and friends, and achievement and involvement in school and community support." In doing this, there will be a significant change in students' mental health. There are multiple individuals who do not have access to mental health resources outside of schools. It is extremely important that students are provided with someone they can confide in. Administrators call the shots when it comes to decisions made in school. They play an extremely important role in education, and specifically high school education. Administrators should be leading teachers and counselors to make decisions that will benefit their students. However, there is a gap where administrators are more concerned with students getting into college than setting them up for success. Administrators should be focusing on providing education that will set students up for success in their future rather than basic requirements for education. This includes providing options for classes rather than forcing students to take certain classes. This allows students to prepare for their futures at a very young age. Without this, students will continue to feel as though they are being forced to do something they don't want to do. It is important that students feel as though they have the free will to set up their future. They should be confident in their education and the people that are helping them get an education. The university education system and the university system in general is broken. Let's begin with university prices in America. Compared to other countries, the tuition in the United States is remarkably higher. A statistical fact quotes, "To pay for these ever-increasing costs, students are borrowing more money and taking on more and more debt." It is extremely hard for a college student to balance their debt while maintaining a high grade point average. There are resources that are available to students, but a lot of students are not aware of these resources. Colleges in America need to work on bettering their relationship with students in order to guarantee their success. A number of individuals cannot even afford to go to college and are left in the dark. This is a result of multiple individuals pushing students to feel as though they will not succeed unless they acquire a university education. However, there are multiple options for students who are not able to afford a university education. This all ties back to school counselors. School counselors should provide students with multiple options in order to guarantee success. Students are less likely to succeed later in life when they feel as though they only have one option. There needs to be communication between counselors and students about what the student really wants to do with their life. In addition to the educational gap in primary school, there are many challenges faced from the effect of COVID. I personally have experience with these affecting my own family. My brother is 10 years old. He has been in his formative years of elementary education. He spent 2nd and 3rd grade in a mixture of hybrid and in-person instruction. At the beginning of 4th grade, my parents had him tested for appropriate grade knowledge with an outside company. They discovered his core skills in math and reading were on a 2nd grade level. This was a result of distance learning and on his educational skills, which caused a tremendous amount of stress on a young mind. Students should not be falling behind as a result of online learning. There is obviously a gap that needs to be filled with additional training that has not yet been provided. There are multiple solutions to this problem. The overall issue is that schools are not getting proper funding that they need to provide this educational training. The federal government would rather put their money elsewhere. But how are we supposed to allow our students to succeed when we cannot fund our schools correctly? The children currently in primary school are the future of our country and our world. We need to give them the best education that we can possibly provide. One final way we can improve our flawed educational system is research and parental education. There is being research conducting about new educational systems and shows the benefit to students. There would be a change made. Research is extremely beneficial in education and can allow for major changes to be made. If there is scientific evidence that the system is failing, it is bound to be revised. In addition, it is important that students are educated about the issues regarding their children's education. They should be aware that the education system is not fully supporting their child in the way that it should be. When parents are concerned for their children, administration is more likely to change the way that they are teaching. Overall, there are multiple issues with the system that have remotely stayed the same for many years to come. Technology continues to advance, and our world is rapidly changing at a number of different levels. There are a million different things that can be done to change and advance our education system. If these issues are raised among individuals, a real change can finally be made.